The next case is Esposito Group Corp., MHVIO 2018-01299. Gary Beswick is the officer.
There are two cases, right?
Correct.
Yes.
And
Sorry. No,
I believe I heard this one before. The name
The MH
sounds familiar.
Well, your adjudication on the MHVO, not on the reoccupancy.
I adjudicated on the permits,
Correct.
not on the reoccupancy certificate.
That's correct.
So, and I gave an abatement date back in June 20th, is that correct?
Yes,
At $500 per day, fine?
that's correct.
All right, let's talk about that one. Your name again, sir?
no speak English, Spanish.
Interpreter?
Your Honor, are we on the reoccupancy case?
We are on the first
RCCOR?
case, 01299.
Okay, correct.
Need a Spanish interpreter? He's coming, okay. City, what work was being done without a
They,
permit?
they was doing some addition on the west side of the property, some addition to the existing house, and they start back in November,
Right.
and then earlier this year I drove by and there was a building material truck that was delivering more material for the work that was in progress, and they still haven't obtained a permit as yet.
When was that?
It's between, observed the truck between March and June, I remember.
Okay, and to this date, there is no permit?
No permit has been issued, no.
Okay. We're waiting on the interpreter, he just walked in.
Hola, buenos días.
Name and street address for the record.
¿Su nombre? Es Ray Expósito. Ray Expósito. ¿Su dirección?
Let me just have him spell his first name.
¿Cómo es Ray? ¿Cómo deletrea Ray? I-S-R. I-S-R. A-Y. A-Y. Israel. Expósito. I-S-R-A-Y. Expósito.
And you're the president of Exposito Group?
¿Es presidente del Expósito Group? Yes.
Okay. Tell me why you don't have a permit.
Dígame por qué no tiene permiso.
Estoy en el proceso ya de permiso, la ciudad ya tiene todos los papeles, lo que no me ha dado-
I'm in the process of permit, and the city has already all the papers.
What papers?
¿Qué papeles?
ya tengo un número, un proceso.
I have a number. I have a number given for the
We have a
process.
process number.
Okay, you don't have a permit.
Todavía no tiene permiso.
No, porque ya yo llevé todos los papeles al condado y ya me los regresaron aquí a la ciudad y estoy esperando por la ciudad que me dé permiso.
I took all the papers to the county, and I'm waiting for the permit.
Why the county?
¿Por qué el condado?
Porque la ciudad de North Miami me mandó a llevar los planos al condado.
Because the city of North Miami sent me to take the papers to the county.
For a room addition?
Yeah,
Para una adición de cuarto.
yes, he's probably have to go to Durham.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so where are we? You were ordered to abate the violation or get a permit by November of last year, and we're in July of 2019, and we still don't have a permit. What's
Bueno.
taken so long?
Le habían dado un tiempo para conseguir el permiso para noviembre del 2018 y estamos en julio del 2019. ¿Por qué tanto tiempo, Mr. Juez?
En lo que mandé a hacer los planos, que se demoran a hacer los planos, que tiempo que me ha tomado con la ciudad y los planos, el arquitecto.
Well, all the paperwork, the prints and the architect, all that took me all this time.
I'm sorry, I misstated the abatement date. The abatement date actually is June 20th of 2019.
Bueno, me equivoqué, dice, la fecha de cumplimiento en realidad es junio del 2019.
It was first notified back in November,
Right,
and back in April, they was
La
still,
primera
they
vez
was
fue
still doing
notificado
work
en noviembre, dice.
on the
okay,
property without the permit.
all right. Do you have architectural drawings?
¿Tiene los planos ya?
Están en la ciudad de North Miami.
They are in the city of North Miami.
Do you have any, do you have a copy of them with you to
¿Tiene
Show me.
copias usted con usted?
No, lo que tengo son copias de todos los pagos que yo hice en el condado
No, I do not. I have copies of all the payments I made to the county.
y de los...
City, what is your recommendation on this case?
¿Qué está recomendando al Estado de la Universidad?
Mindful that he was supposed to abate by June 20th.
Él debía cumplir para junio 20.
Basically, I like the fines to move forward. Just the fact that they continue working without, after being notified from last year. They was, as I said, it's around April when I passed by, I see a big truck delivering more material, which in my mind mean they're still working.
Repitiendo que debía haber cumplido para
So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a bad thing.
Okay. And again, we're talking about
Estamos
the
hablando
fact that he doesn't have the
del hecho de
permits.
que no
The
tiene
other
permiso. El otro
issue that
asunto
will come
es
up next will be the reoccupancy
que
certificate.
es
But on the issue
certificado
of the
de
permits,
reocupación.
what
Hablando
exactly
de los
is
permisos,
being done
exactamente, ¿qué es lo que le está
at
haciendo?
the
¿Qué está
property?
hecho en la
What-
propiedad?
what is the nature of the work?
Well, basically, I got a complaint from code, but when I went there, it's obviously that on the west side of the property, there's some enclosure. I'm not sure if it was a carport or a garage. I let the owner elaborate on what exactly he's doing.
Okay, sir, what work is going on?
¿Qué tipo de trabajo está sucediendo?
Lo que hice fue una adición de una terraza.
Well, I made an addition. I added a terrace.
When did you do that?
¿Cuándo lo hizo?
Lo comencé hace ya un tiempo, unos 8 meses, 9 meses.
I started about 8 or 9 months ago.
Y cuando el inspector me vio la violación, paré y no he hecho más nada ahí.
And after I received the violation, I stopped and I haven't done anything else
Hasta no tener todos los permisos y los planos, todo en orden.
until I get all the permits and the paperwork.
All right, based on the testimony of the city's code compliance
Basado en
officer,
el testimonio del
the
oficial,
evidence
la
presented,
evidencia que ha sido presentada,
I find that the
y
property
doy
has
fallo
been
que la
out of
propiedad
compliance
no ha cumplido
since the abatement
desde
date
la fecha
of
que se dio,
June 20th,
junio 20
2019.
del 2019.
I am going to ratify the fines that have been accrued to date
Las multas que se han
in the
dado
amount of $500 per
cantidad
day.
de
per day.
500 por día
Going forward,
hasta
the
aquí
fines
hacia
shall
adelante,
continue
y esto
and
continuará
will run
y
on a daily
continuará
basis until there is
diariamente
compliance.
hasta que
I
se
assess
cumpla.
costs in
Entonces voy
favor
a
of the city
agregar costos a
and
favor de la
authorize
ciudad
the
y
filing of a
también
lien.
autorizo también un lien en la propiedad.
Next case.
Siguiente caso.
The The
No
next
tengo-
case is for Exposito Group as well, RCCOR 2018-00041. Gary Beswick is the officer.
This is the failure to obtain a reoccupancy
Este-
certificate.
Yes, and in this case, they didn't apply for any.
They did not apply?
No,
To this date, they have not applied?
don't recall them apply for any.
When were they cited for that?
¿Cuándo le dieron la citación por esto?
de-
Está preguntando, está hablando de él.
November?
Fue en noviembre.
se le puede preguntar a él que si no,
Ya te va a dar la oportunidad.
There is no number,
Ya
it's
te va a
by
dar la
name.
oportunidad. ¿Cuál es la pregunta?
si yo no puedo apelarle eso que me está diciendo, una multa de 500
Ya,
diarios.
ok.
I'm showing an initial inspection of November 27th.
La inspección inicial fue en noviembre 27, dijo.
Juan is under the new cases, under Exposito. Okay.
It's under
Está buscando los
00041.
documentos.
All right, let me turn over to the owner. Why haven't you applied to the city for a reoccupancy certificate?
¿Por qué no han solicitado a la ciudad el certificado de reocupación?
Pues no tenía, no tenía idea que tenía que hacer eso.
I had no knowledge that I had to do that.
All right, I'm going to give you 30 days
Voy a darle 30 días
to apply.
para que solicite eso.
So, based on the testimony of
basado en el
the
testimonio
city's
de la
code compliance
ciudad,
officer
del
and
oficial,
the statement that the property owner
la
did not
declaración
know
del
that he
dueño de
needed
la
to
propiedad
comply
que no
with the
sabía
requirement
que
of
tenía que cumplir
obtaining
con
a
esto
reoccupancy
y
certificate,
tener
I
el
find that a
certificado,
violation
entonces
exists.
sé que mi falla es que existe la violación.
Proper notice having been given,
Se
I
habló
enter an adjudication in favor of the city and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated. 30 days.
30 días.
Let's, are you ready to answer that other question? It's not relevant anymore, so just tell me when did he, when was he cited?
¿Cuándo le dieron la citación? Me está preguntando.
Well, it was cited on November 27th, 2018.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Noviembre 27.
All right. Anyway, I've ruled on both cases. I
Dos casos
would ask the city to proceed with its next case.
y el siguiente
The next case is George Castro, case number CEWWC 2019-00046. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer.
What is the property address?
910 Northeast 136th Street, George Castro.
Okay. Ma'am, could you please state your full name and address for the record?
Jeanette Sarah Castro, 910 Northeast, 136th Street,
What
North
is
Miami,
your-
Florida.
What is your
33161.
relationship to the property?
Owner.
Okay. City, please proceed.
Good morning, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 910 Northeast 136th Street was cited for the roof. They had a tarp on the roof. They were advised to apply and obtain a permit to repair the roof.
Has this been adjudicated?
No, this is a new case.
Okay. How much time do you need, ma'am?
Well, I have an attorney, and they just filed motion of enforcement of the settlement to Citizen because they're not sending me the check. And I have the copies here of all the court and all that. I don't know
Well,
if you guys want it.
I don't really need to get involved in your lawsuit against Citizens. That's
Mhm.
between you and Citizens.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to know how much time you need in order to comply with the
Well,
violation.
they just filed on June 20th. I don't know. I don't know how long they usually take. This is my first time.
What's the problem with the roof?
It was damaged because of the hurricane, and I'm still at it with Citizen.
Okay.
Special magistrate?
Yes.
I would recommend to give her 90 days to see
Okay.
where they are with their proceedings, and I'll give her my business card so she can keep me updated.
Okay.
All right. The city has generously said that they would give you 90 days,
Okay.
and that's fine with me.
Okay.
But I want you to be mindful that regardless of how it turns out with Citizens,
Mm-hmm.
whether you get paid or not, ultimately it's your responsibility to maintain your roof in good condition.
Right.
So come 90 days from now, if you still haven't resolved the case, I'm going to have to start assessing fines.
All right.
So I'm going to table the case for 90 days.
All right. Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
The next case is Larry Jean,
Thank you.
CEGMP 2019-00009. Jose Perez is the officer.
State your full name, sir.
Larry Jean.
Street address.
155 Northwest 127th Street, North Miami, Florida, 33168.
What's your relationship to the property?
Owner.
Do you own it?
Owner.
You own it. Okay. City?
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 155 Northwest 127th Street. This is in reference to general maintenance of properties, to be specific, to repaint the rusty fence and gate in the front of the property. As of my final reinspection, the fence was not painted, and I was out on July 10th at approximately 10:43 a.m. And as you can see in my evidential pictures,
Got it. You're talking about the fence or the house?
yes,
Have we had a prior adjudication on this case?
yes, we have.
Okay. And when was that?
Prior adjudication was April 5th, with an abatement date of May 8th.
Looking at my notes, just a minute. Has any work been carried out to comply with the violation, with the,
As of my final
abatement order?
reinspection on the 10th, it was in the same state as it was when I opened the violation on January 23rd.
sir, what's your position on this?
As of yesterday, the gates painted. I have pictures here.
You waited until the eve before the hearing to paint the,
No, but he went July 10th. It was painted over the weekend.
okay. So what, you have pictures showing
Yes.
the,
I have pictures here.
and what did you paint, the fence?
Yes.
show it to the officer?
Okay, it appears he has complied, but again, the abatement date was for May 8th.
What are you recommending?
Let me confer with attorney.
Okay?
So the city would seek out some sort of fine because he did comply after the fact. And
Okay, so the issue here is just the fence. We're not talking about the house.
correct, it was just a fence.
Okay, and he was required by an order of the magistrate to comply by May 8th, and he didn't comply until a couple days ago,
He just testified that yesterday.
yesterday.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
it was over the weekend, but can I say something
Yes.
about that?
Sure.
Well, as far as the me not complying, I guess with May 8th not being compliance, there was an issue with the mail. I guess whenever he would send the notice through certified mail, the mail carrier wasn't, delivering the mail. Obviously, they'll say no one was home, or they'll put a sticker, it'd be on the mailbox, but there was no attempt to make delivery of the notices for the code violation. And also with
There was also another
Wasn't
hearing.
posted?
It was posted, and there was also a hearing on June 20th where we postponed it to July 17th.
Right.
And he was here present on June 20th.
Right. So I'm going to adjudicate you guilty.
Oh.
I'm going to be mindful of the fact that you have complied, which is good. So I'm going to assess a fine of $500.
why would I have a question.
Yes,
Why
sure.
would it be guilty if I came July 20th and I have to have it the situation
Because
mitigated?
you were supposed to have corrected the violation by May 8th, and you didn't.
No.
And you corrected it yesterday. That's why there's a violation.
No, but I was here June 20th and they gave me till the 17th to come back to mitigate it. On June 20th, I let them know the situation. They gave me time to mitigate it by the time of this code hearing, violation hearing.
I don't have that in my file. I was told, I looked at the file and it said abate on May 8th. What happened in June?
That was
So on June 20th, we had a hearing where the fine would have been imposed, but he advised that he never received notices.
I gotcha,
And we granted an extension until July 17th,
gotcha.
but on my final reinspection, which was a week from today, July 10th, there was no compliance. So regardless whether it was on June 20th or July 17th, on my final reinspection for both hearings, there was no compliance.
The thing is, it was compliant. It's July 17th. As you can see with
Okay.
the pictures here, is complied.
Well, I'm having some difficulty understanding the facts, okay? So at the June meeting, he was given until July 17th to comply?
No, he was
Okay.
not. He was given until July 10th.
No.
Yes. And we were going to hear it on July 17th, which is the standard
Gotcha.
for all our cases.
Okay,
Is that on paper? Is that written? Is there something? in
yeah,
front of
do you have,
Yes.
do you have anything I can see that states that he was given until July 10th to comply?
1 second.
The permit action report should state that for the June hearing.
So under the permit action report, it says tabled to July 17th, which would be the hearing date. and we don't set reinspection dates for the hearing date. We set them out a week prior. And once that hearing is set, we do post out the hearing, and we also post out the order to comply.
And just for the record, Your Honor, on the June 20th hearing, the abatement date never changed. The abatement date remained at May 8th, 2019. The magistrate has the authority to enter a fine from
All
the
right.
abatement date.
I understand what happened, and that's why there's a misunderstanding. The fact that on June 20th, you came before the special magistrate, and the matter was tabled to July 17th, which is today, doesn't mean that you had until July 17th to correct the violation. Just means that the special magistrate wanted a status report to see if and when you had complied.
Well,
At
there
my
wasn't no date
request-
given.
At my request, I tabled it until the next hearing because he advised that he never received notice, which was posted and sent certified. So at my
Okay.
request, I just tabled it till today with the with the reinspection date of the 10th.
Okay, so I think I'm being generous in not retroactively assess a $250 a day fine for noncompliance until yesterday. So by ordering that you pay a $500 fine for the delay in, and you're shaking your head, you're getting a break.
I understand
Okay,
that, but
you waited from April, and you were given a May 8th compliance date, and here we are in July 17th, and you painted the fence yesterday.
I did not paint the fence yesterday. I'm saying as of yesterday, you know, he was saying that July 10th. As of yesterday, I'm saying the gate was painted. What I'm trying to say is, if I knew a date, if there was, okay, sir, July 10th, this gate has to be painted. You know, I would know, okay, if he's coming over to paint the gate. I did it this weekend. It wasn't like, I knew, okay, July 10th, still not gonna paint the gate, but when I show up here, I'm gonna paint it. But there was a firm date told to me, sir, let Mr. Jean, July 10th, the gate needs to be painted. The gate would have been painted. I wouldn't be showing up here, you know, arguing, well, I'm here July 17th, the gate wasn't painted or was painted at a certain time. With anything, if had I known, it would have been painted. But there was no date firmly told to me of when it's supposed to be painted.
Permission
Yes.
to respond, Your Honor,
Yes.
because there was a formal date set, and it was the abatement date set on April 5th, 2019 of May 8th.
Here's the thing, that was the reason why I came June 20th, correct?
Correct,
And-
but on June 20th, the abatement date did not change. The
Yeah.
abatement date always remained at May 8th. That
Exact-
was always the day that you had to comply. That date never changed.
I understand what you're saying there, but the reason why, me not receiving the mail from the mail carrier, and as far as me personally with the notices, code violations, Ms. Officer Perez said, you know, he hung them on the gate. I never saw them. You know, if we're gonna hang up code, this is my personal opinion with it. If we're gonna hang code violations, I think we should hang them at the door or somewhere, because obviously if you hang them outside the gate somewhere, and someone randomly think it's like something not important, it's like clear plastic bags or whatever it was, because sometimes we'll get like advertisements or whatever is there that's hanging on the gate. I don't know what happened or whatnot, but it was just mass confusion as far as the date, because I did not understand the terms of, you know, me having to satisfy the issue.
All right.
I understand what you're saying
The-
about
the-
me.
Well,
The-
Your
the-
Honor, we'd also ask you to take note of the fact that the violation was open on
January.
January 23rd of
So
2019.
I noticed that right away. You've known about this violation since January 23rd of this year.
To my defense, as you can see, I never showed up to those hearings. That's to show that I did not know
He-
nothing about them.
He was here on the June 20th hearing.
But the
in
ones
person.
previous, I never showed up to none of those hearings. That means I really did not know that I was not receiving the notices to show up. I would never disregard something so important like that not to show up for a court hearing.
On the Florida statute 162, he doesn't have to be at hearing to be adjudicated.
Sure, if there's service.
Correct.
And there's
And there
proper
was
service, and the fact that he may or may not have shown up on April the 5th
Is irrelevant.
is not relevant.
Correct.
So I think telling you, you're getting a break. I could go
understand that.
back and cite you at $250 a day since May 8th. And what I am going to rule, and I've already ruled, and I want no argument on this, is that the city, I'm gonna find that you're guilty, that there's a violation of the code, and I'm going to assess a $500 fine for the violation. And so if you believe that you are entitled to mitigate that fine, there's a process in the city for you to do that, or you can appeal my ruling to the circuit court, and those are your remedies. I think you're getting a break.
I understand it, but just the information was just confusing as far as the June 20th to July 17th.
I understand. It may have been confusing, but there was a violation. And you were served, and the papers say what they say. So with that said, I don't want to take any more time. There are people waiting, so I'm going to move on to the next case.
The
Next.
next case is Lazaro Isan, case number CEWWC 2019-00048. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please state your full name and street address for the record.
Name is Felix John Hinalog, 880 Northeast 144th Street, North Miami, Florida 33161.
And are you the owner?
No, I'm not. I'm the son of the owner.
And the owner's name is?
It's Virginia A. Alcaide, and my stepfather's Lazaro C. Ison.
Okay. This is about a roof
It's a roof
repair?
violation, correct.
Tell me about it.
Okay, the property 880 Northeast 144th Street was cited on April 4th for a tarp being on the roof. It's a brown tarp. The notice was mailed to the property for them to apply and obtain a permit to repair the roof. And I'm looking here at the notes in the permit action. I did refer the property owner to go speak to someone in CP&D to see if they can get funds to assist them in repairing the roof. And the case was tabled and it's being presented today.
The case was tabled?
Well, prior to being brought before the magistrate, we took it off calendar to give them
Gotcha.
time to see if they can get assistance from the Community Planning Development Department.
Okay. Sir, what's
So
the issue?
I did call the assistant, not sure the actual name of it. I did call them, and they told me unfortunately they had no funds at the moment. And we have actually been trying to save up. I have some proposal for a roofing company. It's a bit expensive. It's actually $23,000 and $500. We do have other options to go to. I was hoping to have a maximum kind of extension if possible, because fortunately we're not really well off at all.
You got one quote for $23,000, that was it?
Yeah, no, I have one for 23 and also for 15,500.
I think that's a better deal.
Yes, that's what I was hoping to have a little bit more time to at least save up and also get some permits and whatnot needed.
Let's be realistic. If I gave you some time, how much time would you need?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to work with the roofing company. Hopefully they'll give us a bit like financing or something like that, or at least enough for a down payment to get it
Okay.
started.
Recommendations from the city?
Be it that we gave the previous property 90, I think we should just give them 90 as well.
Okay. Based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs that I have reviewed, and the evidence presented depicting that the cited violation still exists, proper notice having been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 90 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next case is from Marie Mazepas, case number CEBPR 2019-00022. Jose Perez is the officer.
This is 115 Northwest 121st Street?
Correct.
I know she was here earlier
her
for the
ticket
ticket
appeal.
appeal. I'm not sure if she went home or maybe she's in the restroom.
All right, according to my notes, this was previously reset. It involves work without a permit?
Yes, a makeshift shed was put up on the rear side of the property. So I was requesting, or the city was requesting, for either removal or permitting of the shed.
Is anybody here representing the owner of the property, Marie Mazepes, and husband Edner, 115 Northwest 121st Street? Anybody here representing the owner? What do you want to do? You want to pass on it, or,
We would have to rule on it to continue to the next case.
okay? This was a ticket appeal?
She was here for the ticket appeal earlier, but this is a regular case.
Does it arise out of the same violation?
No, it's a separate violation, just the same property.
The number is 0073?
No, it's 00022.
Got it. All right,
Number 14 in the agenda.
I got it. And who are we waiting for?
Either the property owner to show up or a ruling.
Okay. What is the city's recommendation?
Due to the fact that the
Finding?
due to the fact that the property owner was here and may have not remembered that she had this second case, I'm for postponement.
Okay, that, the case has not been previously adjudicated. I believe that when it was tabled and set for today, there was a conversation about coming to an agreement with the city.
This one has not been heard yet.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna table it for 30 days.
The next case is Greater Properties LLC, case number MHVIO 2018-01292. Gary Beswick is the officer.
Sir, please state your full name and address.
Thomas Jardin, 10010 Northwest 44th Terrace in Doral, Florida, 33178.
What's your relationship to the property?
The tenant,
Is the owner here?
no.
Okay. What kind of property is it? Commercial, residential?
It's residential. Well, it's a group of apartments that we use for a housing program for at-risk youth.
Okay. 1 second. City, proceed.
Good afternoon, Gary Beswick for the City of North Miami. As of this morning, there is no permits on file, so I recommend to let us the fines move forward.
All right, there was an abatement date of today, I'm sorry, July 10th, with a $250 fine, correct?
Yes.
And the work that needed to be done was what?
It was, let me, hold on. Basically, they was doing some interior and exterior work. If you look at the pictures,
Okay, let me look at the pictures. Okay, got it.
and that's affiliated to unit number 6.
This is one unit in a multi-family
That's correct.
property.
Correct.
One unit, out of how many?
I don't remember exactly how much unit they got.
It's 10 total.
10 total? Okay. You were required to comply by getting permits for the work by July 10th.
It was our understanding that the contractor had obtained all the necessary permits. He swore up and down that he had. Obviously, we'll be having a conversation with him, but we'll do everything we have to do to comply.
With the same contractor?
I mean, at this point, you know, we're kind of married, but
All right.
probably not
well,
in the future.
Based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer and the photographs and the evidence that I've reviewed, I find that the property has been out of compliance since July 10th. I find in favor of the city, ratify the fines accrued to date, and assess costs in favor of the city. The fines shall continue to run on a daily basis until there's full compliance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next case is Brian Pariser. Case number FYBRR 2018-00072. Gary Beswick is the officer.
Forty-year recertification. State your full name and address.
Rafael Lozano, 1475 Northeast, 125 Terrace, North Miami, Florida, 33161.
What is your relationship to the property?
I'm the president from the board.
And Mr. Perisher is the attorney?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because he appears as the owner. City, you want to present?
Well, basically, it's for 40-year recertification that was due as of last year up to December 31st. As of today, we have not received an approved report as yet.
Okay, sir, tell me why you don't have a 40-year recertification yet.
My honor, we working in that. The last time I went here to the hearing, I bring the electrical structural report from the different engineers. Unfortunately, we had to hire another structural engineer to do the new inspection because the previous engineer was with the different contract we bring to the property. They not match what the damage he found it. So that contractors they give it to the association the recommendation to hire a new engineer that we did. That's why here I want to prove that we hired the new engineer. We did the inspection. We paid him, and yes, we're waiting for the clear report to submit to the city. And the second part, this is the electrical part. This is a more bigger job. To do the electrical on the parking, we need to have photometric plans. Photometric plans or blueprints cannot be if we not have a survey. Unfortunately, the survey what we have in that moment at the office had like 40 years. The engineer can read, he can work with that. So I'm coming to the city to request a copy of the survey. The city don't have a survey. So we had to hire a company that I have here, a name and everything, to do the survey, and we're waiting for that to bring to the electrical engineer to do the photometric blueprints so we can get a bid for that. So we working. We had the best intention to comply with the city, but take time, more than what we're thinking.
City, how long have they been out of compliance?
Technically, 6 to 7 months. It was due up to December 31st, so technically 6 to 7 months.
This is a 40-year, not a 50-year.
Hold on.
Can I talk?
No, let me
Okay.
have him look it up first, and then you can answer.
I was looking for the property appraiser, but it's not there.
All right,
I'm not
is
sure.
it a 40-year recertification
Well,
or 50-year recertification?
I said like probably like 5-6 years ago, we did like a 40-year certification. For any reason, this letter come last year, end of the year, like recertification for the years. So we assume the 40-year certification was not on the city records, and that's why they do it.
No, probably. Let me,
Or we have like to do the 50 years. We're not sure about, because you see, if you read the letter, they say
How old is the building?
based on
I
what
said
he's saying,
76, 74, 76.
based on what he's saying, then whatever they submitted a couple of years ago, it probably was late, and this would be under 50 years.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, regardless, you got to do it, sir, and you got to do it as quickly as possible.
We do that. I'd like to inspector see.
I'd like you to work with the inspector
I will.
to see how much time we can give you to move this forward, mindful that you're dealing with a condominium association that needs to get some funds together.
This is the another part, my honor.
But
We don't know exactly how much it's going to cost the job. Till the time we had the survey finished, they get the photometric and get bid for that. The structural part we already done. I'm very confident in 2 weeks I had a clear report to submit to the city.
how many, 2 weeks, you say?
Yeah. The engineer who did the last inspection, we submit everything what he asked him to fix it. We did it.
Because understand that submitting a 40-year recertification is the easy part. The harder issue is
To
the
fix it.
work
Yeah.
that you have to do in order
Yeah,
to...
we already did the structural part. The engineer we hired, the second engineer we hired, he did the inspection and he did the recommendations to the association.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
You said isometric, so you need a survey. So are the lighting already there, or do you have to install new lighting for the parking lot illumination?
No. It's 2 parts for the certification: the structural and the electrical part. The electrical part is like we working in that. The another part we already did the inspection. We finished what the recommendation from the engineer. The company did the reparations, send the report to the engineer, and now we had to wait for the engineer to give you a clear report to the association to bring to the city. And that structural part. Electrical part, we're going to take a little more time.
My question is, you asked for the survey for the isometric, meaning the parking lot lighting. So my question to you is, does the parking lot have sufficient parking light?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, look.
Well, we had lights.
I've heard enough.
Okay.
Okay, I've heard enough. There's a difference between filing your certificate and then doing the work. We'll deal with the work later on, but for purposes of getting a 40 or 50-year recertification to the city, I'm going to give you 30 days, okay, to get that certification, the
reports.
The report.
Oh, we submit. We submitted to the city 3 months ago.
Where is it? That's what we're here about. Did he?
The last time I went here, you was on with another judge. I'm explaining here that we need to have a process to do the job done. He gave me 90 days to come here and tell you what is the process on. So that's why I come in today. I say, like, the structural part, we already finished. I'm just waiting for the clear report to bring to the city so the inspector can have the structural part clear. The electrical part take more time because now we work in the survey to bring to the another engineer, the electrical engineer, to do the photometric blueprints, and that in that moment we can get the prices for different companies.
All right.
Okay,
We're
lem-
all over the place.
Let me answer your
Okay.
question.
Yes.
The report was submitted in April, and according to the engineer at the time, there was structural, electrical, and parking lot illumination required repairs. So the question is, have all the repairs been taken care of? Because you keep saying you're gonna have a clear report. So that means all the repairs have been taken care of?
According with the second engineer report, yes.
Was any of the repairs required permits?
No.
Okay.
What is, again,
Well,
you know, where I'm being-
the
wait.
structural, the electrical, yes, we need permit.
The violation before me is failing to submit a 40-year recertification.
In order for the violation to close, the report have to be clear. If it-
Okay, so the issue is, have they corrected
Correct.
the report, the
Repairs.
violations that the report
report.
requires the property owner to do?
Correct.
That's the issue.
Correct.
Okay. How much time do you need?
For the structural, 2 weeks more. For electrical, at least 90 days. To come here and show you what is the advance, what we did.
Mr. Building Official, I see you out of the corner of my eye. And I'd like you to bring some order or suggestions as to what the building official believes is the right way to resolve this issue. Because none of us are construction experts. State your name.
Steve Pizzol, building official for the city of North Miami. Do we have- Okay, so we have a 40-year recertification that is not a clear recert. So, I mean, basically, we would need to, at bare minimum, they're saying he can have structural repairs done in 2 weeks, and they're not gonna.
We read it. Yes, we're waiting for a clear report.
And you pull permits for the structural repairs?
No, we don't need it was very small. And I have here, you want to see what?
The structural work they did was basically just cosmetic, so that would be okay. But the electrical,
We need permit for that. I'm sure of that.
3 months, I mean, we're already going over a year into the new cycle, so
Are you suggesting 3 months is fair?
I would say let's give them 60 days, and and then they can at least get us some stuff to show what is being done. Because
Okay.
we can have permits in a few days. I can't see the repairs taking another 90 days.
All right. Thank you for bringing some clarity to this
Thank you, Inspector.
case. Based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer and the testimony of the city's building official, and having reviewed photographs, having seen the evidence, I find that the cited violation still exists. Notice has been given. I find in favor of the city. Enter an adjudication and set an abatement date of 60 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $300 until the violation is abated. So 60 days to get it done.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Next case.
Sanssouci Condo, MHVIO 2019-00039. Gary Beswick is the officer.
state your full name and address.
Good morning. My name is Ruben Betancourt. The address is, one second, please.
What's your relationship to the property?
Contractor. 11930 Northeast, 19 Drive.
Okay. City, please
Good a-
proceed.
Good afternoon, Gary Bezick for the city of North Miami. They applied for a permit. The permit is still not issued as yet. So that's where we're at.
Any recommendation?
Well, I'm here from the contractor. You say you're the contractor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
How much time do you need?
No, we don't need time because we just submit 3 weeks ago the new engineering plans.
Well, I
We
checked
are
it
waiting
this-
for your review.
Well, I checked it this morning, still haven't been issued, is it?
But all the paperwork was submitted.
Yeah, they applied for it. I'm not
They
sure
ap-
if
they-
all they asked for, but I know they applied for it.
Okay. Have we had an adjudication before?
Yes. June 12th. Must be abated by June 3rd. The abatement date was June the 12th.
June 12th was the abatement date.
Yes.
What do you recommend?
I recommend the fine and move forward.
Okay. Based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer and the evidence presented, I find that the property has been out of compliance since June 12th.
Yes.
I find in favor of the city, and going forward, I am going to set a fine of $250 per day until there is compliance, and compliance will be achieved by way of obtaining a permit.
The fine amount was already set.
Which is how much?
$500.
$500?
Yes.
So I amend the fine to $500 a day going forward until there is compliance, and compliance is achieved by getting a building permit.
Yes, a permit from the building department, correct.
So as soon as you get a building department permit, the fines shall cease. And I'm hoping that the city can move this forward quickly so that the fines don't continue to grow. If the property owner moves expeditiously, there may be a mitigation, the ability to mitigate the fines with the city. So I ask everybody to please exercise good faith and get this violation cured as soon as possible.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said that from June 12th, right?
I am going to start assessing fines as of today, not on June 12th.
Because we submit the permit on May.
Yeah, but I'm, yes. Okay. Yeah, can you speak into the mic, please?
Yes. My name is Ashley Franco. I'm actually the owner of the property in question.
Yes.
And as of 3 weeks ago, June 24th, no permits had been requested. No permits were anywhere it's as if nobody's done anything. I have pictures of what the property looks like now, if you want to see them.
Well, first of all, let me understand who the players are. You're the owner, and your property is rented?
No, my property has not been rented since February when Mr. Beswick deemed it unsafe.
Can I say something?
Yes. Why don't you enlighten me
Yeah.
on what's been said?
Let me show the pictures.
Okay.
What happened is, she's a unit owner, but the association was cited because for the structural element of that part belongs to the association. It's a common area, basically. So it's not, she owned a unit, but the violation is against the association. The association applied for the permit under a different address. The address that was applied for, my memory serves me well, is 11960 Northeast 19th Drive. That's why she couldn't locate it. She's probably looking at 11930 Northeast 19th Avenue.
Yeah, and she's talking about the unit, and the violation is not for the unit, it's for the condo association.
Correct.
And the permit by the city, I have the report here, is being applied on May 16.
I understand all that, yes.
Okay, so the property owner is not being cited?
No.
It's the,
Association.
it's the association
Correct.
because the issue is with the common elements?
Correct.
It's a structural thing. That is
Okay,
not-
so
that is
you,
not the-
ma'am, this has nothing to do with you. You're not, we're not finding you. The city is finding the association
Correct.
for failing to comply with a prior magistrate's order. And I believe that I sat on the case.
Yes, it's
if
you.
I-
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. And I remember you getting up and speaking.
Correct.
So I am finding the association beginning today, $500 per day.
Thank you.
Okay, yes,
Okay?
'cause
Not
Yeah,
you.
no, it's not you. And we submit the plans, the revisions 2 weeks ago. If we would be a little more expedited with the city, we were avoiding this kind of fine because I submit the new revisions that they ask. As soon as we got the revisions, the feedback from the city says you need to do these drawings. We get those drawings super fast. I came personally to drop them off 3 weeks ago, and I'm still waiting for the results from the city to tell me if they need, if I
Well,
need to do something with
Why
the
don't
drawings.
you check with the building department to
I-
see where they're at?
I did, and I have the last report that I just pulled up here from the system, and it says pending. So
Pending.
yeah, it's not on my hands, like to expedite the city to review the plans. I'm just waiting for them because we really want to move forward, finish that job, and then continue.
I'll check on it this afternoon.
Okay, so it may be that by the end of the day, you would be in compliance, in which case you will not be fined.
Yeah, because I
So-
submitted 3 weeks ago, so I will be, I will appreciate
So
if the city can take a
Why
look of the
don't-
documents I submit.
Why don't you go into the back of the room and see if you can get some help from staff?
Absolutely.
And see if we can get this done quickly.
Yes, I will show
Okay?
them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you so
right,
much.
next
Have a good
case.
day.
The next case is Clear Investment Holdings, RCCOR 2018-00026. Gary Beswick is the officer.
Clear Investment Holdings, this is a reoccupancy certificate matter. Gentlemen, please state your full name for the record.
Juan Carlos Castañeda. I represent, I'm a friend of his. I was a realtor involved in this transaction.
Okay, I want to hear from the owner.
Guillermo Valdez.
Guillermo Valdez,
Yes.
are you with Clear Investment Holdings?
No.
Who's Anton Werner?
What happened, Your Honor, is
Yeah,
he bought the property with the condition that the title company held $5,000.
speak into the mic, please, I can't hear you.
When he bought the property, there was a condition that the title company will hold $5,000 in escrow for the reoccupancy. The reoccupancy was done, and it did not pass. Clear Investment was supposed to get the reoccupancy, which apparently they're not interested in doing. So Mr. Valdez has requested the money that is in escrow for him to get this done.
So you have a fight between the buyer and the seller, the title company is involved, there's money in escrow, there's
Right.
money there to get the work done.
Exactly.
But there is no reoccupancy certificate, so the
Right.
city doesn't care how you all resolve your issues.
Right.
The city wants to know that you're gonna fix whatever needs to be fixed within a certain period of time.
Well, that's what he's here for. He's asking, because he's been asking the title company to release the money for he could get somebody to do the permitting and all that done. And,
What is the work that needs to be done?
well, apparently, I don't know, Gary,
Well, they did some alteration thing with kitchen, bathroom, electrical panel, I don't remember, but they did some major work on the property and then turn around and flip it, basically.
Okay, and so how much time do you need to get the reoccupancy certificate?
well, we would like to have 60 days, if you don't mind.
Any objection?
Nope.
Okay. So based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer, having heard from the property owner and the realtor, the agent, and the evidence presented, I find that the cited violation still exists. Proper notice has been given. I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 60 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is complied with.
Okay.
So you got 60 days to go fight whoever you need to fight.
Okay, thank you.
The next case is Lawrence Casagno, case number CWWC 2019-00019. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer.
Please state your full name and address.
My name is Lawrence Casagno, 960 Northeast 143rd Street.
What's your relationship to the property?
I am the owner.
You've been here before, correct?
No, first time.
According to my records, the
case has been heard before.
has been heard before. There's an abatement date of July 10th and a fine set of $450. There's a problem with the roof and a blue tarp.
Yes.
Let me hear from the city first.
Good afternoon, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. This property was originally cited February 26, 2019. Code Manager Cordo requested that the case be taken off calendar to give the property owner some time. The case was taken off, put back on calendar, and there's been no contact from the property owner since. The previous magistrate found him guilty and set a fine, as you stated, at $450.
Ma'am, your turn.
Yes, we had received the letter for the first hearing on June 5th, but we misread the date. We came here on June 6th to find out the hearing was on June 5th. So we went to the Code Enforcement Office in 125th Street, and lady gave us the letter for the June 10th. We've been, since we had the roof problem, we had decided to do an addition to the house to add a new room, and we had a plan, so we submitted way before we got cited on January 31st, 2019. And as of now, some of the part have been approved. We only have the structural and the landscape that is not approved yet. So we got the last thing from the city this morning. They gave us the paper, so they still working, reviewing the plan in the city.
The only issue before me is the roof.
Yes. Since we decided to do the addition, so they put everything together, the existing roof and the new roof that we, with the addition.
And you got a
So
permit for that?
we have the paper that's.
Show it to the code officer,
that's
please.
the last paper we got from the city. That's where we are right now.
And the permit that you got from the city, it covers the roof problem.
The whole roof.
Are you
The-
replacing the roof?
We repairing the roof and a new roof with the addition.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, can you look at the paperwork and tell me what the, what's going on?
That's the permit action report for the permit that they pulled
Submit,
for
yeah.
the addition. If you can give me just one moment to confer with the building official?
Surely, maybe you can meet halfway. What's
Af-
the verdict?
The city moves to dismiss the violation after speaking with the building official.
Okay, the matter is dismissed. You can go. Good afternoon. Have a great day.